So the next part is when the angle is not inside a quadrant, okay? So you can see the questions, the last three questions, they have ratio that's either 0, -1, or 1, right? So this part, that part, you need to use these three pictures. So I hope you don't need to look back and then look at this picture anymore. It should be in your head, okay? So for example, like cosine theta has to be 0, okay? Remember the 0, this is not angle. This is your ratio, okay? So you don't follow the 4 steps because this one is not inside the quadrant, okay? It's on the axis. So then you start by thinking about cosine, right? The picture for the cosine, okay? For cosine, because it has an O, right? O means you get 0 here and 0 there, and then 1 on the right, 1 on the negative, -1 on the left. So within one circle, we want to get to 0. So 0 is either up here or down here, okay? So our first answer is this one, and then second answer will be this one, okay? Within 0 to 360. Okay, so please write out the two answers and then you can raise your hand, okay, when you got the two answers. So what are the two angles, the green ones? Shouldn't take this long, right? I already kind of give you the answer. It's right on the picture. So how big are the two angles? Raise your hand when you got it. Okay, so what are the two answers? Evan, what's the first one?
Is the first one 90?
Yeah, first one will be 90 degree. Okay, and then Angela, second one.
270.
Yeah, 270 degree. Okay, so that's it. Those are your answer for this kind of question. So if you get something that has ratio of 0 or -1 or 1, right? It's possible, right? It's possible it could be on the axis. Okay, but not all the time. You have to think about if it works, right? Because you look at tangent, right? Tangent, you don't have 1 or -1, right? You only have 0, 0 or undefined, okay? It's only sine, cosine that has 0, 1, and -1. Okay, so just be careful. If it's not on the axis, then it must be in the quadrant. Then you follow the 4 steps. Okay, it's either page 5 or page 6. Okay, cannot be anywhere else. So please finish H and I. Okay, when you finish H and I, you can raise your hand. Both questions, okay? H and I. Okay, you should be done by H now, right? H is pretty easy. You move on to I. So Jiawen, what's your answer for H?
90 degrees and 270 degrees.
90 and 270. Can you tell us why? How do you know it's 90 and 270?
Because I did, what do you guess for G?
Okay, but it's not always the same place, right? This question is sine. What's the picture for sine look like?
1, 0, -1, and 0.
Starting from where? Can you draw it on the screen to show us?
Oh, I don't know how to draw it on the screen.
Okay, how about here? What number do I put there?
0,
Okay, how about up here?
1,
And then
0,
0, and then?
-1.
Okay, now the question, what ratio does it give you?
-1.
-1, right? -1 only has one place, this one, right? It can only be -1 when it turns to the bottom, okay? So the angle that we want, it won't be on the top, right? It won't go to 1, because if it turns to 90, it will be 1, but we don't want 1, we want -1, so it'll be here. So how big is that angle then?
270 degrees.
Okay, so the only answer for this question, it only has one answer, okay? It's only 270 degrees. Understand?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so it depends on the question, okay? So you need to draw it out. Sometimes you get two answers, sometimes you get one answer. Okay, if you finish I, please raise your hand. Okay, Marcus, is the angle for I on the axis?
For what?
For
For H?
question I, is the angle on the axis?
No.
So it will be in the quadrants, right?
Mm.
Quadrant?
What was that?
Say that again.
Uh, one's not on it.
It's not on the axis, yeah. Okay, so it will be inside the quadrant. So can you tell me which quadrant is it?
I don't know. Would it be the first one?
How do you know?
I don't know.
Well, you have to check sign. You have to do the 4 steps now, okay? Because 1 is not the one in the picture here, right?
Oh, okay.
So that means it's not the page 6 question, okay? It's not on the axis. So you have to look at the previous page, okay?
Okay.
This page, okay? Page 7. Step 1 is check sign. So which quadrant?
Uh, I would be first and third.
Yeah, okay. So it's sometimes it's on the axis, sometimes it's not on the axis. If it's not on the axis, you do the 4 steps. If it's on the axis, then it's easy, okay? You look at the picture. Okay, quadrant 1 and 3. Only 4 people finished. Question I. Okay, so remember, I throw that question there so then you know that not all the time when you see 1 is on the axis, right? If you see 1 or -1 for tangent, it's inside the quadrant, in between the axis, not on the axis. Okay, Evan, what do we do now?
Add the number.
Okay, what number do I put in there?
1 on the opposite side,
Mm-hmm.
and then I think it's 1 on the adjacent too.
Yeah, very good.
And then square root 2 on the hypotenuse.
Okay, excellent. Okay, Ivy, what do we do now?
Find the reference angle.
Did you find it?
45.
Yep, 45. Okay, thank you. And Waylon, what do we do now? Almost done. Waylon? Are you there, Waylon? Please turn on your mic. Waylon, are you there? Waylon?
Oh, sorry, I just went to a washroom.
Okay. Yeah, so do you know what to do now? We got the reference. We got this pictures.
No.
No?
Wait, let me check.
Oh, yeah, please check.
Do I just find the angles?
Yeah, we are on the last step.
So is it 60 degrees and
Hmm? What's the reference angle here?
45 degrees.
Yes.
So is it 45 degrees and 225 degrees?
Yep, okay, very good. All right, first angle is the reference, same as reference. Second one, you need to add 180 to the reference. Okay, so that's it for finding angle. Okay, if they are all special sides. Okay, we have one more thing to cover. Okay, to complete this topic. So that's on the next page. All right, so please look at next page and then compare those two. Okay, the next page and this page with page 8 and 7. Both of them are finding angle, right? However, what's the difference? Right, look at the question. Compare question A and the question on the left side. What difference do you see, Chris?
Yeah.
Yeah, what difference between the questions on the page 7 and the questions on page 8? What's the difference?
Instead of theta, there's a.
Yeah, good, but they both represent angle, so it doesn't matter. I could put B, right? Still angle. What other difference do you see?
No root.
No roots, yes. Okay, very good. Yeah, okay. So instead of root, what do you have?
decimals?
Decimals, yes, okay, some random decimal, right? So it's not a very nice number like before. So when that happens, right, the numbers that's given here, like the -1 is called the ratio, right? So the ratio is no longer special, right? This number here, page 8, right? These are ratio, but these are not special. Not special means you don't see the 1, you don't see square root 1 or square root 3, you don't see fractions, right? It doesn't have to do with the 30, 60, or 45 degree anymore, okay? So the side ratios are no longer special. So things has to change a little bit, okay? We still follow the same 4 steps because we're still finding angle, okay? But then we'll do some change in as we go along, okay? So we'll start with step 1. Okay, let's try question A, okay? Question A first. So step 1, what is step 1, Colin? Colin, Colin, are you there?
You
Yeah.
draw the angle.
Huh?
Wait, step 1
Yeah.
is it is it to check the sign?
Check the sign, yeah, okay? We are not drawing angle first because we don't know the angle, okay? If you are drawing the angle first, that's for the other question, is to find exact value. That's different, okay? If they give you the angle, then you start with drawing angle. If you don't have the angle, then you start by checking the sign. So Colin, what sign do you see?
Positive.
So which quadrant?
It should be quadrant 1 and 2.
Yeah, 1 and 2. Okay, very good. So write that down and then we move on to the next step. Okay, after we check the sign, we need to do what? What's second step? Harry?
Side ratio.
Side ratio, yes, okay. But then for this one, the side ratio is not special. So we could not write out the side ratio, right? It's a random decimal. So that's where the difference happened. So for step 2, you cannot do anything. You have to skip. Okay? So we move on to step 3. Okay, step 3, let's draw it out first. Okay, it's in quadrant 1 and 2. Quadrant 1 will be here. Quadrant 2 will be here, right? Quadrant 1 and 2. So what is step 3, Ivy?
Step 3.
Yep.
Is it a reference angle?
Yeah, it's reference angle. Okay, so if you look at here, right? Reference angle is here, the 2 green dots. But because the ratios is not special, we could not put any side on the picture. Okay, so for this kind of questions, the reference angle, you need to use your calculator. Okay, so everyone please take out your calculator. If you don't have it beside you, go find it. Okay, when you have it, please raise your hand. Okay, so I know you all have the calculator, scientific one.
Wait,
Raise your hand.
sorry.
Yeah.
What counts as a scientific calculator?
Something that has the sine, cosine, tangent button on it.
Uh, oh, okay. Thank you.
Yeah, you have it.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, please go get it and raise your hand when you have it. Okay, Brandon, Ivy, Waylon, do you have a calculator? Okay, how about you, Ivy? Ivy, do you have one? Okay, right. So first thing I would like you to check is, do you see a degree mode on your calculator? So you probably can see a little D on the top of your screen, or you see a DEG on top of your screen. Can you check? Okay, raise your hand if you see either one of those two. Anyone cannot see it? Please tell me. Okay.
I can't see it.
Okay. You don't see a D on the top?
No.
How about DEG?
No, I don't see a DEG either.
Then how about this? You try, can you type in sine 30 degree?
Sine 30?
Yeah, and then tell me what answer you got.
0.5.
Okay, then you are safe. Okay, that's fine. Then you are in the degree mode. Okay,
Okay.
so don't worry about it. Anyone else cannot see D and DEG? Only half people? How about Harry, Marcus, Willen? Okay, and Brandon, you're okay, right? Okay, so let's go to here. Now everyone is on the same mode. Okay, to get the reference, you will only need calculator if the ratio is not special. Okay, so this one is a sine, but to find the angle, you need to press sine inverse. Okay, so you can get that by typing second, right? Press second and then press the sine button. And then after that, you put the ratio inside. And then you only put the positive ratio. Okay, so and this one is already positive. So you just copy it inside. 0.2568. Okay, so please raise your hand once you get a number. Type in sine inverse. Anyone doesn't know how to get sine inverse, let me know. Only 3 people got it. Colin, what number do you get?
I got 14.88.
Okay, so let's round it to the nearest tenth. Okay, question tell us to get to nearest tenth. So 14.9. This one will be the degree. Okay, it's a reference angle. Okay, if you get the 14.9 degree, please raise your hand. Chris, Ivy, Jenny, Wellen, are you able to get 14.9?
Yes.
Yes, okay. How about Ivy? Yeah, okay. So that's how you get reference angle. Okay, so basically you skip step 2 because it's not special, right? So it goes straight to find the reference angle, but you will need the calculator. Once you get that, the 14.9 is the green dot. Okay, then you do the same thing. You find the angle within one circle. So the first one is that one, right? The first quadrant. And then the second one is the one in the second quadrant. Okay, so based on the picture, you need to decide whether you need to add or subtract using 180 or 360, right? So what's the first answer now? Okay, this is angle A, right? Because the letter they use is A. So what's answer for the first angle? Angela?
Uh,
How
uh,
big is the angle in quadrant 1?
14.9.
Yes, okay, that one you don't need to do anything. It's the same as the reference angle. Okay, second answer. Okay, what's the answer for the second one? Elaine? Elaine, do you know how to get the second one? Are you there, Elaine?
Sorry, I've been on mute.
Yeah, did you hear my question, Elaine?
Sorry, I was on mute again. I don't know why. So that'd be 166.1.
166.1. That's right. Okay, so 180 subtract 14.9. Okay. Wait, is it? I think too big. Can you try again?
That would be
What do you get? One hundred and what?
5.1.
Say that one more time. 100.
165.1.
Yeah, 65.1. Okay, because you need to use 180 and then subtract. Okay, so that's your two answers. Okay, we'll try one more. Okay, one more together, and then I'll let you guys do the other ones. So let's say we have question G. Okay, let's do question G is a sign. Let's do a different one. Let's do question D. Okay, the tangent. So we'll move on to D. Okay, does anyone have question about A? So same steps, okay? You just follow 1, 2, 3, 4, but then you skip step 2. Okay, so okay, Annie, what's your answer for step 1?
Quadrant 2 and 3. Oh,
2 and 3?
quadrant 2 and 4.
2 and 4, okay? Tangent negative, okay? This one is negative for tangent, quadrant 2 and 4. Now step 2 you can skip, okay? So go to step 3. We can draw that out as well. 2 is here, 4 is here. We need to figure out these two dots. Okay, so let's have Jenny. Okay, what is step 3? What do we do?
Reference angle.
Yep, how do we figure that out?
We have to look at the side ratio to find it, right?
Okay, and how to do that exactly?
We take the negative 5.258 and plug it into the calculator.
Okay, so what do I type into the calculator?
10 inverse negative 5.2588.
Okay, okay, now if you look at the previous question, okay, can anybody point out what's the little mistake we have here? What did we forget? What's wrong with this? Yes, Elaine?
You aren't supposed to put negative into the calculator, otherwise it goes completely.
Yeah, okay, so remember, you can highlight this part. Whatever that goes after the inverse has to be positive because that guarantees the reference angle doesn't go bigger than 90 degree. Okay, if you put something negative, sometimes the reference angle will come out to be more than 90. Okay, because it will give you the first answer. So then that's not useful, right? To help us find the answer. So make sure your answer, the number you put inside has to be positive. Okay, it's for finding reference angle. So everyone, please type it in. Okay, get a number and raise your hand. Okay, let me know when you get the answer for reference. Okay, you can raise your hand once you got the reference angle. Please round it to the 10th. Taking too long, okay? Just type into calculator. Okay, Annie, Harry, Jenny, have you all got the answer yet? Okay, Marcus, what do you have?
I put it in and I got 79.2.
79.2, yep, okay, 79.2. Anyone doesn't get the same number, let me know, okay? You should get this number. If you cannot get it, you have to let me know, otherwise you will have same trouble, okay, for homework. So step 4, we need to get the 2 answers now, right? First one, it has to turn to the 3rd quadrant. Second one turns to the 4th quadrant, okay? So please calculate the 2 answers and raise your hand, okay? And make sure you use the correct variable, okay? This one is using A, angle A is in the question. Raise your hand if you have the 2 angles. Okay, Jiawen, can you tell us one of the answer?
On 100.8 degree.
Okay, very good. 100.8 degrees. Thank you. Brandon, Harry, and Marcus, do you have any questions?
How do I plug it into my calculator?
How do you plug in? Well, how do you find the second angle without a calculator? What would you do?
No, I have quite like I got 79.2,
Yeah.
but I don't know how to get 100.8.
Okay. The 100.8 is the first angle that it hits the arm. Okay, so you look at the picture I'm drawing right now. It's in the second quadrant. Okay, let me. Yeah, do you see it now? Right. The 79.2 is the green dot. Okay, that's the reference angle. So we want to get the first one. So that means it turns to the second quadrant. How do we find that one?
180 minus 79.2.
Yes, okay, and that will give you the 108, 100.8. Okay, now if you want to get the second one, then you need to look at the fourth quadrant. Okay, so you need to turn all the way to there. So how can we find that one?
360 minus 79.2.
Yeah, very good. Okay, so let me know what you get.
280.8.
280.8. Okay, let me check. Yeah, looks good. Okay, so it depends. There's no fixed rule on what to do. You need to look at the picture, okay, and then decide whether you need to add or subtract, whether you use 180 or 360. Okay, so it depends on the picture. So let's go back, okay? And then go back to page 7. Let's fill in the summary, okay? Before we forgot the rules. So this part, step 2 and step 3, okay? If the ratio is not special, okay? If ratio is not special, then you cannot do step 2. So you'll skip step 2, then you find your reference angle or equal to inverse of positive ratio. Okay, so please write this down. Okay, raise your hand one after you write this down. Okay, so this is if you have a ratio that is either decimal or some fraction that you don't recognize, right? Like 2/5, right? It's a weird ratio. Then you have to use calculator. Okay, raise your hand if you got this down. Brandon and Marcus, have you copied it down yet? Okay, so we have tried the sine tangent. Let's do a cosine question, okay? And I'll let you guys finish off there, okay? So let's do question B. So this time I'll let you do it all on your own, okay? Finish step 1, 2, 3, 4. And I'll wait till everyone's finished and then we'll go over, okay? Raise your hand when you finish question B. Remember, when you use the inverse, you have to use positive ratio. Does anyone have questions? We're still working on it. Raise your hand when you have finished. Okay, Brandon, can you tell us the step 1? What's your answer?
Quadrant 2, quadrant 3.
Thank you. 2 and 3, that's correct. Okay, Jenny, step 2. We skip, right? So what do we do on step 3?
We just draw in the,
Yeah, and then what?
and then put in the little green dots.
Okay, let's put in the green dots and then what?
For step, okay.
We're still
You write out the equation, which is cosine inverse and then 0.5603.
okay. And what do you have?
My calculator, it showed an error.
Showed an error. Oh, we have trouble now. Okay, so did you get the right answer for A?
Yeah, I did.
And then it should be fine. You try again one more time.
Okay. It didn't work.
Still doesn't work. You type in second and then cosine, right? Second function and then cosine, cosine inverse. Still doesn't work.
No, it doesn't.
For question A, did you get 14.9 for reference?
Oh, yeah, I did.
How did you get sine inverse?
I just did it the same way that I'm doing it now.
Did you have to press second and then sine?
Yeah.
Yeah, it should be fine. Okay, let me
Okay.
check. Marcus, what do you have for number 3, the reference?
I got 55.9.
55.9, okay. Elaine, how about you?
I also got a 55.9.
55.9, okay. Anyone else couldn't get 55.9? Jenny?
I tried it again and it worked.
It worked.
I think it was because I was on my phone.
Okay. So anyway, as long as it works.
Sorry.
Yeah, so all the answer, it shouldn't come out error. Okay, next one. Now we need to get the 2 answers. Jiawen, what's one of the answer? Xiaowen, what's first answer?
And 124.1 degree.
Okay, very good. And Colin, what's the last one? Colin?
Oh, it's 180 plus 55.9.
That's correct, which is?
Give me a second. Uh, 235.9.
Yeah. Okay, so that's it for today. So make sure you follow the 4 steps. So depending on the ratio, okay? If it's inside the quadrant, you use the 4th step. If it's on the axis, you have to use the picture, right? And if it's not special, you use the calculator. All right, so if you have any questions, you can stay after class. Otherwise, I'll see you next week. Okay, bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Alright.
Bye.